Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Monday, March 16th, 2026. Prescribed fires that are planned or ongoing are seen here in the pink dots, and we have had some wildfires over the weekend in portions of Utah and Nevada. Most of these were on the smaller side, but this one in northeast Utah was almost 30 acres. Precipitation for the past 7 days is shown here on the left. It's been pretty dry across Utah and Nevada, but we did see some precip to the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming late last week and over the first part of the weekend. And the percent of normal shown here on the right, again showing very dry conditions across the southern Great Basin and even over central Idaho, with this higher area of above normal precipitation over northern Utah. Our snowpack map hasn't changed too much in the last couple of weeks. We're still seeing really low values across Utah and much of Nevada, and values a little bit closer to normal over Idaho and western Wyoming. If we take a closer look at this basin here in central Utah, the central Utah mountains, we can see that snow water equivalent has been close to the record lows through most of the winter, and right now as we head into the middle of March, we're actually setting new record lows for that snow water equivalent. This green X here shows the average peak in snow water, and we're way below that, both in terms of absolute value and then also like how early we are seeing these values so low. So we're going to see continued melting this week with the warm temperature heading our way. Our satellite image this morning shows a high pressure center located off the California coast. And then we're still seeing some westerly to northwesterly flow in place over the eastern half of the Great Basin with the low pressure over the plains, keeping a little bit of cloud cover in place and keeping temperatures on the all relatively cooler side across the eastern half of the Great Basin compared to the western half, which will start to warm up quite rapidly. Again, for today, high pressure off over California and off the coast there. The big story for the week is the temperatures, the record heat that's going to be coming in with this high pressure system as it builds into the Great Basin over the work week. But for today, still some westerly to northwesterly flow across the eastern half of the Great Basin. Ventilation rates are still pretty good across the area. If we look at the winds today, again, still some strong or gusty winds across the Snake River Plain and some of our northern Utah mountains here. Again, as impacts from that low to the east, and mixing heights are on the generally higher side today as well. Not much in the way of precipitation. Maybe we could see some isolated showers over the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, and maybe just a shower or two over the far northern Utah mountains. Maximum temperatures are going to be warming today compared to yesterday, mostly in the upper 50s and low 60s, right around 60 across the eastern half of the Great Basin, but quite a bit warmer over Nevada. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s already in Reno today. On Tuesday, the ridge starts to strengthen and move a little bit closer to the Great Basin. Ventilation rates still looking decent, but will be kind of decreasing across Nevada. Still expecting some gusty winds over the Snake River Plain into western Wyoming and parts of northeast Utah. And then the mixing heights again are still going to be on the higher side across the eastern half of the Great Basin. Precipitation, again, not looking for much, but maybe just a few light showers over our far northern mountains. And then the maximum temperatures continue to rise. So already by tomorrow, the eastern valleys are going to jump from 60 up to 70, so a 10-degree increase. And then we're seeing more warming over Nevada, highs up into the mid 80s. More of the same on Wednesday as the ridge continues to move a little bit further eastward. Ventilation rates decreasing across the area. Still some breezy winds across the north, Idaho into Wyoming. Mixing heights are decent, not terribly poor yet. And then on Wednesday, again, no precipitation as that high pressure ridge builds in. Temperatures continuing to warm, highs in the low to mid 80s across much of Nevada, and then highs in the mid to upper 70s over the Idaho and Utah valleys. 3-day precip just showing a little bit of precip coming to the northern mountains of Wyoming and Idaho. And on Thursday, that ridge continues to dominate the weather pattern, ventilation rates decreasing, continued warm temperatures. Our warmest temperatures will probably come in that Thursday time frame, upper 80s, mid to upper 80s maybe in parts of Nevada. And then Friday is still another hot day. We will start to see a little bit of a system moving in here to the Pacific Northwest, which could start to bring a little bit of relief temperature-wise to our far northern areas. And then on Saturday, again, some cloud cover possibly coming into Idaho with slightly cooler temperatures as we head into the weekend. And then on Sunday, again, a little front bringing some increased winds to the area. Ventilation rates will increase a bit as we see some increased winds starting on Sunday, heading into the first part of next week. Clearing index for Utah for the next couple of days is showing some decent values still, especially over the eastern areas tomorrow with those gustier winds, but then decreasing as we head into the middle of the week. Precip for days 6 and 7 not showing much, maybe some light precip to the central Idaho mountains, but we will see some increased cloud cover and some stronger winds. Overall, 7 days, not much of anything. And then as we head into the last week of March, still keeping much above normal temperatures in place across the Great Basin with below normal precipitation expected. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Wednesday for the latest updates.